So you've done everything you need to do to get your new home. You've went out, you've looked, you've searched, you've looked high and low, east and west, north and south. You found the perfect home. You got yourself pre-qualified. Everything seems to be going well. You've talked to your lender, and you're a week into the loan and the purchase process, and then you get a call from your lender. It goes something like this. Hi, this is Mike. Yeah? Oh, hi, Joe. Yeah, you've been a great lender. I appreciate everything you've done. It's been, what? Well, yeah, I bought some furniture. We need it for the new house, right? I mean, we can't use the old furniture in the house. Well, yeah, I didn't have the money. You said not to use money, so I put it on the credit card. Yeah, well, what do you mean? My debt to income, what? My debt to income ratio is too high and now I don't qualify for the loan?
Oh no!
So I know you think that will never happen to you, but you'd be surprised there are 10 loan disasters waiting for anybody who's in escrow right now. And this video is going to go through those to make sure that you don't fall victim to any one of them. The first one, as we just went through, is don't go out and buy new furniture for your home. At least don't buy it until after you own the home. It's important that you postpone major purchases like that so that they don't occur while your home is under escrow. Along those same lines, I don't want you to use any charge cards and let your account balances fall behind. It's important that you keep your credit balances at 30% or less of what the available credit is. That's what lenders look for. You start going above that 30% and you start to jeopardize your credit worthiness. And if your credit cards are already above that level and you were approved anyway, don't worry about it, but don't add to it, and don't make that debt to income or loan limit ratio higher than it is. If you're at 30%, keep it there. Don't charge something else and make it 40% or 50% or something like that. And above all else, don't fall behind on any payments. Make sure you make all of your payments on time. Don't go out and buy a brand new car to celebrate. I can't say this strongly enough. A car is a major purchase. The monthly payment on average is $700 these days. It's going to affect your credit, and that is going to affect whether or not you get the house. So if you go out and you buy a car, I hope you really love it, because you may end up living in that car, and that's just no fun. So don't make that be you. Don't make yourself the person living in your car because you had to have that before you closed on the house. Buy a new car afterwards to celebrate, but not before. Next, don't spend any large amounts of cash for various miscellaneous purposes. You don't want to take $4,000 out of your bank account and give it to your daughter Susie because she needs something, or she needs college, or whatever it might be. When you're approved for a loan, the lender approves you based on you having a certain amount of money set aside. That money will cover your down payment, it will cover your closing costs, and it will cover what they call reserves. And a lot of people aren't familiar with reserves, but what they are is it's your rainy day fund. In the event something happens, do you have money set aside to handle making the payment? Do you have money set aside to handle replacing the air conditioner? Do you have money set aside? And if you go out and you start spending that money, even if it's for a good reason, they're going to say, guess what? You don't qualify for the loan anymore. You don't want that to happen to you. Make sure you disclose all of your debts and liabilities when you apply for the loan. It's real easy to say, well, I'll just skim on this, or I won't tell them about this, or gee, I forgot about that. Don't do that to yourself, because the lender is going to spend the next 30 days researching your credit history in more detail than you want anybody to ever look at you. They're going to find out everything you have. I once had a client who was well into the purchase process or sale process of his home. He was buying another place, found out 2 weeks after he'd sold his place that he didn't qualify for the loan because, there was this tax liability I forgot to tell anybody about. It's very important you disclose everything on your loan, all of your debts and credits and liens and things like that to the lender, and do it up front. If you're enjoying this video and you're getting value from it, make sure you go down into our description below. book a discovery call with us and find out how all of this information affects your specific situation. We'd be glad to help you with this or anything else. Next, make sure that you don't make any large deposits or make any large withdrawals from your account or even large transfers. So no large deposits, no large transfers, no large withdrawals. Why? Because with current banking regulations, you're going to need to account for every dollar. If you suddenly put $5,000 into your account and normally you put $3,000 into it on payday, you put in $5,000, they're going to come calling and saying, where'd that extra $2,000 come from? Can you document it? Because they need to make sure that that money didn't come as a gift from somebody who was not authorized to give you a gift to help make your down payment or something like that. So it's very important that you don't make any large transfers or deposits or anything like that. Next, don't change banks. I mean, it goes without saying, but you don't want to move from Bank of America to Chase or from Chase to Wells Fargo when you're in the middle of your purchase process. Because doing so is going to throw the entire loan into disarray. It's going to mess everything up, and people simply, or the lender simply, is going to have serious questions about whether to continue your loan. It might not be that they don't want to, but they could be running afoul of banking regulations that require a certain amount of time and seasoning on accounts and things like that. So don't go changing your bank. And last, whatever you do, one of the worst things you can do is co-sign for somebody on another loan. Many people don't realize that when you co-sign on a loan, you are taking responsibility for that loan, just as if you had borrowed the money yourself. And that means it goes where? On your credit report. And if it goes on your credit report, it affects your debt to income ratio. And if it affects your debt to income ratio, it affects your credit worthiness for the loan. And I've seen people do a very nice thing and co-sign for a friend or a family member or something like that on a loan, and it's just enough to make it so they no longer meet the debt to income requirements for getting that loan, and they don't get their home. It's crazy, but it happens, and you can be punished, so to speak, for doing something right and doing the right thing. So there you have it. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure that you go into our Calendly link. If you want to see homes that are for sale, go to our website right here, metrophoenixliving.com, and find out why it's the best website search in the Valley. It's updated every 5 minutes, so it's as current as it can possibly be. I hope you've enjoyed this video and look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks for watching.